amateur Bill Ullery right before a crowded group of voters recently at Chicago's. The forum provided an opportunity for both candidates to express their views and aspirations for the city of Lake Havasu's future. Today, we hear their opening statements.
We also got acquainted from as far back as 22 years ago, as I investigated and wrote about wrongdoing in government, and that job for me is not done. You've likely also figured out by now that I'm a rank amateur when it comes to politics. I'm well past 50 years old, like that, and never before run for elected office. So, sort of dumb, but not quite so young. Seen some significant conflicts over the years evolve around strong mayors, resulting in some rather amazing recall elections. The city's first election was in 1981, and interesting enough, the first recall election was in 1982. And there was another one in 89, and another in 93, and another in 2005, which ushered in the Harvey Jackson group by a landslide, that was. And of course, Harvey got sort of tough on a lot of issues, if you know Harvey, including partying on the channel. And the somewhat controversial Harvey also had some rather stern signs with rules and constraints on behavior mounted in and around the channel and the island, which did irritate some folks in the tourism industry. But with the next election, the next administration, with some support from tourism and related interests, Harvey's signs were interestingly changed with a bit of a different philosophy of tourism evolving at the time. And I think it was Gary Kellogg, the PED, that took some leadership there, and it did make front page. But culminated last year with a new slogan, which has also been somewhat controversial: play like you mean it. Well, the party seen advertising campaigns for spring break and major holiday weekends evolved a bit different from what we've seen in years before, and presentations of some pretty racy videos in the promotion of Havasu tourism and exciting weekends. And then you saw just a few weeks ago a headline on Memorial Day, which was Sunday following a Saturday: boats, booze, and bikinis. That was the headline in our local paper. And of course, something quite that aggressive went viral, and there were two large color photos of the action. One, of course, of the babes in big color photo, and a second large color photo, must have been 6 by 8, large, of a guy smoking hookah. And the quote that went with the photos: in a frenzied weekend-long party and superiority in the wild department, where dancing and drinking were especially debauched. So the news article read, front page in our local newspaper, and it did go viral. The article got comments on local Facebook pages from all over the world, including the United Kingdom, which got the attention of the UK's Sun tabloid, which has nearly 8 million readers a day. And to quote, shockingly, the city is now so desperate, there are plans to create a center for drug tourism, which would bring thousands of new visitors. So the tabloid article read. Of course, that's baloney. But perceptions are perceptions. And we've created some of our own issues in response to that. I'd like to read one email from a former city council member. Lately, we have lost our way with a lost trust in our city leaders. We now focus on slogans like play like you mean it, financed by the city council through the CBB and supported by the chamber and the PED. To cater to thrill-seeking, inebriated crowds, our city and tourism industry used to promote home of the London Bridge on the beautiful Lake Havasu. So you've seen these letters to the editors, posts on Facebook pages, and some of the issues that are evolving through a tourism program financed by our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ullery. Our next speaker is current mayor, Mark Nexsen.
Well, good evening, everyone. With these broken ribs, please do not make me laugh. Ouch. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today, and I would like to thank the sponsors, the London Bridge Republican Women's, for them setting this forum up. Many of you know me, but I'll give you a very brief background. I'm a 1976 honors graduate from San Diego State with a degree in accounting. I went to work for Ernst & Young, one of the largest and most respected accounting firms in the world, and I became a partner at that firm in 1987. And I spent most of my career in Silicon Valley. You also know me as somebody that owned and operated a CPA firm right here in Lake Havasu City. We went from the smallest firm in the town to the largest firm in town. And of course, I'm married to my wife, Eileen. She was former president of this group, and we've been married for 36 years. And you're going to find this hard to believe, but we also have a son who is a CPA. I'm also the chairman of the Colorado Rivers, Clean Colorado River Sustainability Coalition, chairman of the Tri-City Council, past chair of Greater Arizona Mayors Association, executive committee member of the League of Arizona Cities and Towns, and you can see my resume. We've got copies of it. But as you heard, there was a lot of turmoil, and you elected me in the midst of that turmoil in 2006 to stop the turmoil. And we all do remember the hidden manifesto that came with that election. And since you have elected me, and I promised that I would stop the turmoil, with your help, we did exactly that. We have had a very politically stable environment over the last several years. And in the midst of the Great Recession, which is what basically when I've been the mayor, through the Great Recession, we lowered property taxes by $800,000. You were hurting. Everybody needed a share in that. We lowered property taxes by $800,000. And in the midst of it, we also established a rainy day reserve of $2.5 million. And contrary to some of the things you might have seen, yes, it's still there if you know how to read a financial statement. We reorganized City Hall, reduced costs, and provided better service. We implemented a solar project that everybody said could not be done. We put no dollars up front, and it's saving you about $1 million was for that project. No sewer rate increases since 2010. In fact, we completed that project 2 years ahead of schedule and $120 million under budget. We had a team that negotiated an agreement for ASU to establish a campus here with no additional taxes. We used no taxpayer funds. We fought for, and I fought for, a veterans court. Veterans are a passion of mine, and I thank Judge Kalali for all the work he has done in bringing a veterans court to Lake Havasu City, which is now a model for the rest of the nation. New businesses have arrived, including Romer Beverage, Anderson Toyota. Our long-awaited business park is now complete. Yes, we need to fill it, and we can do that. We created new parks and improved existing parks, such as Sarah Park and Rotary Park. The Patrick Tennell Memorial Sports Complex is absolutely magnificent and has received congressional recognition. We formalized the Tri-City Council to work cooperatively with our other neighboring cities, and we share costs such as health care, and that has saved all 3 cities thousands and thousands of dollars. And I continually promote local and small business. It is our backbone, and that does include tourism. And yes, that Sun article was disgusting, and I was asked to go on CNN to defend our city, and I did just that. I drove that 5 hours with these darn broken ribs and defended our city against that tabloid article. Now, this is just a small sampling of what we have done in the last 7 years, and you heard my opponent indicate that he likes to gripe about government. Well, I'm afraid griping as a mayor just doesn't cut it. You've got to bring good decisions, you've got to make decisions and bring solutions. If you can't bring a concrete solution, you will not be effective as a mayor, and I've made those tough decisions through those tough economic times. I will say he has offered one solution, and that is to raise property and sales taxes. In my view, that's not a solution, that is a problem. Now, I'm a positive person, I've always been that way, and I want to build a better future for Lake Havasu City and its citizens. Staying positive means you have to do your homework, you've got to tell the truth, and you have to produce results. And in my past 7 years, I've done just that. No lies, no name calling, just decisions made by collecting input from you, the citizens, and making a decision. I would appreciate your vote on August 26, 2014 for mayor. Let's keep that positive momentum going. Thank you very much.